It seems that some of us have either an easier or a more difficult life than others. But whatever sort of life we have, is it possible that we can make a dramatic material difference to it just by how we think about it? I often mention Henry Ford's famous quote. I might be misattributing it to him, but many people think that it came from him. That whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. So how is that possible? Isn't it the case that either I can do something or I can't do it and I just need to discover that? And actually, no, he's saying something different here. He's saying that I can choose a different understanding of whether I can or can't do something. And that choice I make, that belief that I have, can actually make a material difference to my ability to do that thing. And the best way to understand this, it works on many levels, but the easiest way is to take a very practical example. Let's say you're running in a race and you want to win the race, so you believe you can win the race. Let's take the two different examples. First of all, I believe I can win the race. So what am I going to do? I'm going to train hard. I'm going to practice in all sorts of different weather conditions. I won't notice any discomfort because it's worth making the effort because I expect it to make a difference. I'm going to gratefully celebrate being able to push through. On the day of the race, I'll put in every effort, every last drop of energy, because I believe it'll make a difference. And while it doesn't guarantee that I will win, it does guarantee that I'll get the best possible outcome that I'm capable of. Now, let's compare that to what would happen if I believe I can't win the race. I probably have all sorts of misconceptions behind it, like everybody's better than me, I'm not the sort of person who wins races, who achieves success, and so on. So if I believe that, what sort of energy am I going to bring to my training, for example? I'll go out and it'll be raining. And how am I going to feel about pushing through in the rain? Am I going to feel energized, or am I going to think this is too much? There's no point putting the effort in because it's not going to make a difference. What will that do to my motivation to continue? I won't feel there's any point. I'll feel miserable and heavy and just give up really easily. Then when it comes to the day of the race, I'm going to be full of expecting to lose. And whenever anything goes wrong, imagine there's somebody who's sort of, I just see out of the corner of my eye, is getting close, is coming up behind me. My immediate reaction would be to take that as confirmation that I'm obviously not going to win. I'd have no urge to overcome this or outrun the opponent. I'll be expecting to be overtaken. And rather than pushing on, I'll give way to what I believe is inevitable. What's the point in putting in a whole load of effort if it's not going to make any difference and I'm going to lose anyway? And the saddest thing is that after that's all happened, I'll take it as further evidence that I was right to think that I can't do it, because what happened backed that up. It was so hard. It was so hard to do all of the training. It was so hard during the race and so painful to be overtaken. Look, this sort of thing always happens to me. I was right to believe that I couldn't do it. My original belief gets reinforced, and I take that reinforced negative belief about myself as the starting point to the next situation that I go into. So you see these two different situations, two different outcomes. They could come from the same person with the same body, the same physical capabilities, but simply a different set of choices about what they believe about life. Our attitudes and beliefs about our own potential can change everything for us. Another very everyday example that most people can relate to in some way is about, let's say, something domestic like tidying the house. If I have to tidy a messy house and I believe that I can do it and it's not a big job and I'm fully capable of it and I can do it well and I can do it quickly, then I'll approach it in a very different way than if I believe that I can't. I'll go with a sense of purpose, a light attitude, easy to get started and find the time and effort. I'll celebrate any progress, knowing that as a result, I'll have a tidy house and the greatest sense of satisfaction. If I believe I can't, I'll focus on the effort that it costs me and how heavy and difficult the whole process is. There'll be no celebration of anything. I'll feel burnt out by how much effort I'm putting in for so little progress. I'll make mistakes, knock things over, I'll not finish, or I'll only finish after a long time and feeling absolutely exhausted and not very celebratory about anything. And the only difference is whether I believe I can, and everything that's behind that, which is, good things happen to me, I deserve a good life and happiness and so on, or I believe I can't, including everything that's behind that, like I'm not a deserving person, or nothing ever goes right for me, or everything is a disaster in my life, or whatever that is. Because those beliefs about who we are, what we deserve, what sort of things happen to us, what sort of person we are, these beliefs act as our input into the process. And our mind's job is to take those beliefs and confirm them by doing whatever it takes to give us the experiences that we're believing are going to happen. And each time that happens, we're deepening the story we have about ourselves. Either I achieve great things or I fail all the time. And we take that story as our input to the next situation, and our mind will again do whatever it takes to ensure that that story is reinforced to make it even stronger for the next time. And that's how it's possible that what we think determines what our reality is. It's the opposite way round to how we normally think about things. We normally think that there's an objective truth that's outside of us that we need to discover and then believe. But the reality is that the truth that we believe determines what actually happens in reality. It's a little bit quantum, it's a little bit counterintuitive, but this is genuinely, observably, how things work. So it's all very well to understand how it works, but what can we do about it? That's going to be the subject of the next video. And I am deliberately not covering it now, because what I'd like you to do between now and next week is a little bit of homework, if you're up for it, which is just to observe yourself during your life, during this next week, and just notice where that pattern might be coming into play, and just see how powerful it is and what effect it has, and we'll use that as our starting point for next week's video. You can find out more about how I work with energy healing on our website, heartfulhealing.co.uk, or here on our YouTube channel. But for now, I'm going to leave you with this week's wise words, which come from Jamaica.
To improve the way you're feeling, book a session with Heartful Healing. I must get him in the mouth. It was certain. Yes, please suffer no call. I'm not criticize. Walk on what people yeah, heart. And walk on what he get. Yeah, me. All that they take care of you.